Welcome to AgCast, your go-to podcast for all things agriculture, whether you're a seasoned farmer or an ag student or just curious about where your food comes from. We've got something for you. I'm Dalton.
And I'm Landon. And in each episode, we'll dive deep into the latest trends, breakthroughs, and stories from the ag world. From innovative technology and sustainable farming to inspiring interviews with farmers. Talks about ag subjects and weather updates, we cover it all.
So grab your headphones, tune in, and join the conversation, because in agriculture, there's always something growing.
Let's get started!
Hello everyone, and welcome back to AgCast. I'm Josh,
And I'm Trey.
and today we're going to explain our lineup.
First up, we have announcements.
Then we have weather. Then we have round the table.
Next, we have sports. After that, we have daily facts.
Next up, we have our major interview with some special guests.
Finally, we will wrap things up.
Now we're going to head over with Reed for announcements.
Thank you, Josh. Today's announcements are brought to you by Montana's Hydration Station, bringing you the highest quality H2O. On Monday, November 4th, there are no major events happening. November 4th is National Community Service Day.
Hey Reed, how does that tie into agriculture?
Well, volunteering at farms allows you to immerse yourself in your local cultures. And in our FFA chapter, we do community service as a group. Every year we do highway cleanup, which is just cleaning up our community along the highway up to the interstate. We also volunteer some time to help at the Fall Festival with the tractor pull. Community service and community support is very important, especially to our small communities.
That makes sense. Does anything happen Tuesday?
No, there are not any events again. November 5th is National Gunpowder Day, though.
What does that have to do with anything with agriculture?
Well, we know that gunpowder is used for ammunition, for guns, and fireworks, but it is also used in some kinds of fertilizer. The reason behind this is because gunpowder contains potassium nitrate. On Wednesday, November 6th, we have a lot going on in our school. There's a dairy cattle judging contest at the Lynn County Fairgrounds. And there will be a Balfour meeting at 12:30 for the sophomores and seniors. This is where they will talk about class rings and letterman jackets. On top of all of this, it is a half day. On Thursday, November 7th, there will be a big Scholars Bowl meet at Burlington. On Friday, November 8th, we have a high school football playoff game.
Hey yo, do we get a plaque if we win that?
Yeah, it'd be our first boys' Acacia plaque since 2014 in football. Now we will send it over to Maddie. She will be interviewing a distinguished guest.
Today, we are with Ty Calderwood. We're going to cover a few things about his ag internship and his journey in FFA. Ty, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in agriculture?
Well, Maddie, I am a junior in high school. I participate in baseball, football, and basketball for my sports. Baseball is my favorite. I've been involved in FFA for 2 years. My background in agriculture is that I am a farmer and deal with row crop farming and livestock.
What is row crop farming?
It deals with crops like beans and corn, and you cut them every year.
Well, how did you get involved in agriculture?
I've been involved in agriculture my whole life. It runs in the family. My dad and grandpa used to farm, so I enjoy being around it as a child, and I encourage people to work in the agriculture industry.
So I understand that you are enrolled in a few ag classes this year. Can you tell me what those classes are, and what are some of the things that you do in those classes?
I am enrolled in horticulture and ag fabrications. Well, in horticulture, we are currently working on fertilizer math, and I enjoy doing that. And in ag fabrications, we've been welding panels, and this is something that I like doing as well.
How did you decide to do an ag internship?
I decided to do an ag internship because I want to pursue a career for farming and agriculture, and that is my plan for after high school to become a farmer.
What types of things do you do in your ag internship that you find interesting?
All the work is hands-on and deal with a lot of animals and equipment, and each day is different.
Are there things that you find difficult or challenging in your internship?
The thing I find challenging about my ag internship is that I only get a certain amount of time out of school, and sometimes it is difficult to juggle sports and work at the same time.
And what is your favorite thing that you do in the internship?
My favorite thing about my internship is that I get to do what I love.
What are your plans after you are done working for your internship?
My plans for after the internship is go straight into the agriculture industry.
Would you recommend doing an internship for other people?
Yes.
Well, what is the advice for kids your age that are interested in doing an internship?
The advice I have would be to do it. Don't question it. It'll give you great experience and do what you want to do, not what somebody else wants you to do.
Before we wrap everything up, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners?
No, ma'am.
Well, thank you for your time with us today, Tat. It has been an amazing time hearing about your ag internship. I wish you the best throughout the rest of the school year.
At Linden State Bank in Melbourne and Linden, Kansas, they're more than just your financial institution. They're your dedicated partner in achieving your dreams. Their friendly team is committed to understanding your unique needs, whether you're buying your first home, starting a small business, or planning for the future. With personalized services and cutting-edge online banking tools, managing your finances is a breeze.
Plus, they proudly support our community, investing in local initiatives to help Melbourne and Linden both thrive. Experience the difference a community-focused bank can make. Visit Linden State Bank today. Melbourne is open from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and closed on the weekends. They are located at 102 North Main Street, Melbourne, Kansas. And if you need to get a hold of them online, their number is 785-549-3311. Linden is open from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. On Fridays, it is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and they are closed on the weekends. The bank in Linden is located at 817 Topeka Avenue, Linden, Kansas, and their phone number is 785-828-4411.
I'm Trey, and I will be giving you your weekly weather updates. On Monday, November 18th, we have a high of 61 and a low of 45 degrees with a 58% chance of showers. On Tuesday, November 19th, we have a high of 58 and a low of 39 degrees and a 24% chance of showers. On Wednesday, November 20th, we have a high of 47 and a low of 32 degrees and a 50% chance of showers. On Thursday, November 21st, we have a high of 44 and a low of 32 degrees and a 24% chance of showers. On Friday, November 22nd, we have a high of 45 and a low of 30 degrees and a 20% chance of showers. Thank you, and that will be all for your weekly weather updates. Next, we will have me and the guys on the ag topic.
Welcome to Round the Table, a special segment of AgCast where we dive deep into the conversations shaping the future of agriculture. I'm your host, Joshua Lupano. This week, we're exploring the diverse career opportunities within the ag industry, from hands-on roles in farming to cutting-edge positions in agritech, sustainability, and beyond. We'll discuss the skills required, the challenges professionals face, and the meaningful impacts these careers have on food, security, and environmental stewardship. Whether you're thinking about a career in agriculture or just curious about the industry, stick around as we dig into the stories from experts making waves in the ag world. Today, I'm joined by Trey Walker, Dalton Lingenfelter, and Landon Reed. Thank you for joining us today. I'm thrilled to welcome you to our discussion on careers in agriculture, a field that is not only crucial to feeding our growing population, but also covers a wide array of exciting and innovative opportunities. Today, we'll be exploring various paths within agriculture, from traditional roles in farming and livestock management to cutting-edge careers in agribusiness and environmental sustainability. With the industry evolving rapidly, it's important to highlight the skill and knowledge that are becoming increasingly valuable. Let's kick it off. Hey, fellas. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Pretty good.
Not bad. So today I'm going to ask you 6 questions about careers in agriculture, and I want you to answer them. So, kick it off. When you hear the word agriculture, what do you guys think?
Well, I think of course, crops, farming, cows, ranching, and doing other stuff in agribusiness.
Who else thinks of food?
Just me.
Nah, me too. So, is agriculture just farming then?
Well, obviously, agriculture is farming, but there's also many different like subgenres, I should say. Which, there's industrial agriculture, which is tractors and is using the help of mechanics, and there's also just the science of agriculture, which agronomy plays a big role.
Mhm.
And there's smaller plant systems like floriculture, where they deal with flowers.
Yeah.
What do you think about it, Josh?
I mean, I usually thought agriculture was just about food, basically, because I'm hungry all the time. I mean, I live in a rural town too, so I mean, there's a lot of farmers in the area. I also live like right next to a co-op, and I think aren't there like many other jobs in a co-op?
Yeah, I think agronomists work in co-ops, don't they?
Yeah, I think they do.
Dalton, do you know something about that?
Yeah, agronomists specialize in crop protection, soil control, and soil management. So basically, they go out in fields and they'll just check if the farmer's crops are the right pH and just maximize yields.
Well, now that we know some stuff about agriculture, how does it play a role in your guys' life?
Yeah, one way agriculture affects me is food. It feeds me and my family.
Agriculture affects my life because it can give me like land or give me shelter.
In Waverly, where I live, there's a big wind farm, and that also produces a lot of jobs for agriculture, like wind turbine technicians, which we'll get back to that in a little bit when we talk more about jobs.
And one way agriculture affects my life is, I mean, I live on a farm. It's not a very big farm, but I still have to go out and do some jobs that I'm assigned by either my dad or my grandpa, and it's just one big thing about my life.
Now, flipping the script, what are the most known ag jobs in the world?
We all obviously know farmers and ranchers are a big part of our job area around here. And based on our location, we have a lot of co-ops. Like, we got one in Waverly, we got one in Lebo, I think, and one in town, obviously, in Melbourne. And we got a lot of mechanic shops around here. We got, the marina working on boats, which is kind of agricultural, not really. But then we got sloops over by Linden, where it works on mostly hay.
Let's rewind a little bit and go back to the wind turbines.
Well, wind turbine technicians, I've seen some in action, getting lifted up to the top of wind turbines. Usually they would work on wiring as they're being built. They have to know the layout of all of the wind turbines in the area, and if something goes wrong, they have to be able to know the history of everything that's gone wrong with them in the past, and they kind of just keep those wind farms running.
How do they get the wind technicians on the top of those wind turbines?
Well, sometimes there's staircases in some of the newer ones, but some of the older ones, they need to use a crane to get up there. It kind of depends on what they're working on, which level of the wind turbine.
Yeah.
Another obvious one that we didn't mention yet is all the veterinary places around here. We have one, obviously, South Shore, where they deal with pets and smaller animals like that. And there's a bigger vet for bigger animals like horses and cows or sheep and goats. That's kind of in Linden when you're driving down Topeka Avenue. And then another one that's on Old Highway 50 that's most people know about is another big animal vet, which they work on horses and goats and cows.
So, what are some lesser known jobs that you think should get some attention now?
Well, kind of a weird one that not many people think of is a mushroom cultivator. So they're just people who grow mushrooms, and how they do that is they collect mushroom spores, which is the beginnings of one. It's not really a seed, and they collect it, and they kind of put them up together because they kind of grow in a bunch, and those are called a spawn. So they will grow those.
I got another unusual job. A beekeeper. Beekeepers usually maintain and manages colonies of honeybees for the production of honeys, as well as to provide.
Another, I guess it's not really lesser known, but it's not known to be tied to agriculture is game warden. And, we have 2 lakes around us, which is Pomona and Melbourne Lake, and pretty much game wardens do is they control the small game and big game around the lake and make sure it's protected and population keeps up. Another weird fact is that Jurassic Park is about the adventures of game wardens.
Wow, that's actually really interesting. All right, that's all the questions for today. Thank you guys for coming on today's podcast or show. Peace.
Daily facts. Rats will laugh if you tickle them.
Nearly everything we eat and wear is a product of agriculture.
Camels have 3 eyelids.
Oh yeah, we also have a pun. Pun of the day. How do camels say hello?
How you doing?
Another weird fact is, did you know that male seahorses give birth?
What? Did you also know that ketchup was actually used as a medicine?
Say what? Cows have best friends.
I don't. In 10 minutes, a hurricane releases more energy than all the world's nuclear weapons combined.
That's very crazy.
That is all the facts for today. Bye.
Are you ready to spice up your dining experience? Introducing TT's, the newest gym in town, serving up authentic Mexican cuisine that'll make your taste buds dance. From mouth-watering tacos and fresh guacamole to sizzling fajitas and traditional enchiladas, TT's has something for everyone. Open every day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., TT's is the perfect spot for lunch or dinner. Whether you're grabbing a quick bite or celebrating with friends, our vibrant atmosphere will make you feel right at home. So come on down to TT's and experience the flavors of Mexico without leaving Melbourne. Follow their social medias for special events. Taste the love, taste the culture, taste the magic at TT's. TT's, where every meal is a fiesta. This is Landon Reed, and I will be bringing you your FFA updates. Each year, the National FFA organization selects 6 student members to represent the organization as a National FFA officer. They were announced at National Convention in Indianapolis. Your president is Thaddeus Bergeschneider. Your secretary is Luke Jennings. Your Central Region Vice President is Mary Schreiber. Your Eastern Region Vice President is Caroline Groth. Your Western Region Vice President is Abigail Jacobson. And your Southern Region Vice President is Jack Lingenfelter. November 6th, there's a dairy cattle judging contest. The Agri-Science and Animal Science team will be attending. November 6th, there is a dairy cattle judging contest. The Agri-Science and Animal Science class will be attending. That same day, Josh, Dalton, Trey, and I will be going to the Envirothon training in Manhattan. That's all for your FFA updates. Now on to Dalton with your sports updates.
Yo.
Our high school volleyball team went to regionals on October 22nd and swept the competition, not dropping a set. They beat Chautauqua, South Barber, and St. Paul. They came home with the black. They moved into sub-state, beating Hartford in the first round, but sadly losing to Lebo in this championship. Our high school football team played at Chautauqua on October 25th with an unexpected loss of 64-46. Our high school football team played their final game of the season on November 8th against the Otis Bison Cougars. They had an unanticipated loss against them. The final score was 65-33, with the Cougars coming off with the win. Last week, junior high started basketball practice. We hope you guys had the best season ever. And this week, high school is also starting basketball. We hope you guys have a great season. That's all for sports. Now on to Maddie with Janae McNally.
Hello everyone, today I'm with a former MdCV FFA member who's very active in the chapter and is now a district agent for the Frontier 4-H Extension, Janae McNally. I'll be speaking with Janae about many things, such as her job, the community, and great advice. Well,
I think we should get to know Janae better. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, good morning. I live with my husband between Quennemo and Melbourne, so live within the Marizine School District, and we both work full-time and raise 4 kids between the ages of a sophomore down to a freshman, and we also run a cow-calf operation.
Can you tell us about your experience in FFA at Marizine Valley while you were in high school?
Well, I knew from the beginning that I wanted to be an FFA. I was lucky and blessed with 2 older sisters who were actively involved in the chapter, and so as they were growing up, going through the FFA program, I got to see and watch them do amazing and fun things, and so when I became a freshman, I was really excited and ready to fully immerse myself within the chapter. I started out at the local level, getting involved in different things and going to as many FFA events and activities that I could, and then eventually working myself up to applying to be a district FFA officer at the end of my sophomore year, which I was lucky to be a district FFA officer for 2 years. So I just progressively kind of got more involved as the years went by.
So having 2 older sisters really encouraged you to get more involved in the FFA.
It did. I saw the amazing things that our chapter was doing. Mr. Rice was the FFA advisor at the time, and he really saw potential in every kid that came through the program and really helped encourage them to do their best and find their niche within the ag industry.
Well, what type of things or activities did you participate in while you were in FFA?
I try to participate in as many as I can. The ones that come to the top of my head right now was dairy foods, which it wasn't my strong suit, but I tried the dairy contest and it was a great contest. I also enjoyed livestock judging. I'd done that also through 4-H, and so I knew a little bit about that. I would go to those contests, but the one, believe it or not, that I enjoyed the most was the speech contest. I, for some reason, enjoyed writing a speech and giving that at the district speech contest, which if you asked me to do an extemporaneous speech at that time and even now, I would say no way. But I really enjoyed giving this speech at the speech contest.
Well, now moving on from FFA, what college did you attend?
Well, I attended Kansas State University, and I was born and raised. Both my parents attended K-State, and they always said, you can go anywhere you want. But from a very young age, as early as I can remember, I always wanted to attend Kansas State University. And again, my parents went there, my 2 older sisters went there, I went there as well as my younger sister. So, but I loved my K-State experience that I had. So,
What was your major at K-State?
That's where I really struggled. I knew I wanted to do something within the agriculture industry, or still be a part of the ag community in some capacity. But I didn't know at that time a major that really excited me. So with a lot of searching with the help of my mom, I decided, and I love working with kids. I've always been drawn to kids, and so I majored in elementary ed. And about midway through, I kind of decided I enjoyed working with adults as well. And so again, after doing some research, I switched majors to family studies, community service, and then I also got a minor in leadership, which I think is always important to do. And so one of the things that drew me to that major was the fact that I could be a 4-H agent, which was my dream job, I always said. And so that would still get me involved with K-State Research and Extension like I'm doing now, and I absolutely love, while also giving me a tie to the ag industry and working with youth that I love. So it was a perfect dream job, not knowing if I'd ever be able to fulfill that dream, but I have, and I loved every minute of it.
Well, it's good that you found a job that you can work with kids and adults and is in the FFA ag industry. So what did you do after your college years?
So after college, I ended up getting married shortly thereafter and moved to Holdridge, Nebraska for a while, which is where my husband was stationed for his job. And believe it or not, I was a dental assistant for a while, and I worked at a Curbs. But moving to a community where you don't know anyone is really it was great for our marriage, and we really got a good foundation built. And I enjoyed both of those jobs. I made great connections. We were up there for less than a year, and then we got the opportunity through his job to move back And I actually worked for, when I moved back, a drug-free Osage County, where I would go around Osage County and do drug prevention work, which I thoroughly enjoyed that job as well. At that time when we moved back, we were living in Coffee County. And just so happens that spring their fax agent retired, fax and 4-H agent, excuse me, and I thought, well, this is my chance for my dream job, and so I applied for that position and got that. So I focused on the family consumer sciences and 4-H for 7 years in Coffee County, and really enjoyed that job and loved the relationships that I created down there and the work that I did. You know, life happens, and that 7th year, the Frontier Extension District had an opening for a full-time 4-H agent, just focusing on 4-H. So the Frontier District covers Franklin, Osage, and Anderson counties. So I was living up here, back home, kind of where I wanted to be, and at that time, and so I applied for that, and I got the district 4-H position. So I was 4-H agent over Franklin, Osage, and Anderson counties for another 8 years, and did that. And as I did that, I loved that job. But you know, I have 4 children of my own, and things got really busy, and I was noticing I was missing out on more of their events and activities, which I didn't really like so much as a mom. And so there was a fax position open, and I've more recently switched to that. But what I love about it, again, and being in the district, is I get to focus on family consumer science things, which still heavily impacts you know, my career path and what I love to do, but I also get to help our 4-H agent and program manager whenever they need help. And so I love what I do, but I've always been tied to my ag roots.
In your job now, what types of things do you do on a daily basis?
You know, one thing that I love about the job and what kind of drew me to this career is it's something different every day. Some days I get up and out the door and I'm in my workout clothes because maybe I'm teaching a class about matter of balance. And my focus now in the Frontier District is I work with the aging population as well as do family resource management work as well. So, you know, throughout the summer, for example, and I'll be teaching a class here in January. I teach a class on matter of balance, and so I'm working with those predominantly 65 and over, learn how to be safe in their home and how to age well, or I might be teaching a stay strong, stay healthy class, or even you know, giving some other programs about aging well and how to manage your resources, or maybe I'm going into the school and doing some programming as well. But every day looks a little different. You know, there's some days where I'm in the office doing paperwork, catch up, reporting type of things, but you know, sometimes I also get questions. People can call into our office and ask questions. You know, maybe they need to find a certain resource, so I'll help connect them with that. But what I love about my job is it's something different every day, but I'm working with the aging population, and I love that.
Well, what are some of the favorite things that you get to do in your job?
Some of my favorite things are working with the people. I'm all about connecting with those people in the communities that I serve, again, in Franklin, Osage, and Anderson counties, making those connections. And when I'm able to really help someone, whether it's finding a resource that they were needing or connecting them with another agency that can, you know, help them, or I can give them some information that, wow, this is really going to help me stay in my home longer. That really makes me feel fulfilled in my job, and I love being able to help people in my own communities.
Well, we know that you connected with many people throughout your jobs. How did your time in FFA help with this type of correspondence?
You know, the FFA was a great addition to the foundation that had already been set with the 4-H program that I was involved with here in Osage County, but it just continued to build on the foundation of hard work, determination, making connections, putting yourself out there, in opportunities that might not make you always feel comfortable, but it's going to be able to help you grow and develop as a young leader.
Is there any advice you have for our students and FFA members at MdCV Valley?
First off, enjoy every opportunity that is given to you. You know, Mr. Railsback, I see doing amazing things with this chapter. Go to the events and contests. I know it's hard to skip school so many days in a row and do different things, but you never know where you might find your spark or interest, or make a connection, or make that really good lifelong friend, or, you know, whatever it is, do the things that the chapter is offering, get involved, because that will help you later in life.
Before we wrap everything up, is there anything you would like to share with our listeners?
You know, when Maddie asked me to be interviewed, I of course could tell her no. I've known Maddie her whole life, but I think this is a great opportunity that these kids are having by getting to do this podcast. So congrats and good luck to all of this class.
Well, thank you for today, Janae. It has been a pleasure speaking with you about your job and great advice. We are extremely grateful for your help in the community as well and learning about your job and how you connect with others.
Thank you for listening to this week's AgCast. I'd like to thank Ty Calderwood and Janae McNally for joining us. Their stories are a true testament to agriculture in our community and our school. I'd like to give a shout out to Frontier Farm Credit for their generous grant that allows us to produce our podcast. We couldn't be doing this without you. And remember to go check our podcast on Spotify, YouTube, or the MdCV School Facebook page. That is all for this week. Remember to join us next. This is Maddie signing off.